You remember about the metaphor of a painted canvas, 4 stages. We would let us understand in a very pragmatic way to see how we can find the real self only today. Then you need not to ask how many sessions I have to attend. So we have an example that 10 buckets full of water, the sun is reflected in all the 10 buckets. Water is the medium, bucket is not the medium. The very bucket cannot reflect the sun. The water can reflect the sun. Body cannot reflect the consciousness. Mind can reflect the consciousness. Bucket cannot be the medium, so body cannot be the medium to reflect the consciousness. But still, we find there are 10 suns. Which one is real? None is real. That reflection is not real. Take another example of a TV screen. I believe that you all are watching movies of your favorite actor, Scarlett, maybe Angelina Jolie, yeah. Oh, what are the others? Anyhow, I like her, so that's why name came to. So we are watching our favorite movie. Actor, actress, villain, home, many things are there in the movie. We get absorbed into the movie. Now see what is happening. First I am conscious, second I am watching, third I am watching the different actor and actresses and villain and the homes and the event. We cannot get absorbed in sleep because we are not conscious in sleep. We are conscious and consciously watching the movie. That is what we say, yeah, I'm watching the movie. Who is this I? This is I am is the mind. The mind is watching the movie and perceives many events, people, things in the movie on the TV screen. And that TV screen is our existence, pure consciousness. One mind perceives many. One mind is I am, one mind becomes many. Just when you are aware. With that awareness, I see the one mind is I am, one mind becomes many. The mind now watches the actor that you like is in stress, crying. So the same mind sympathize with actor and then we also start crying. Everything is happening in the mind. Nothing happens to the TV screen. Nothing happens to the pure consciousness. Everything is happening in the mind, through the mind, by the mind. Now see the reality. One TV screen appears to become many because I forget that. I lost awareness of that. Same way, I lose my awareness of the reality. I lose my awareness of the. But why I lose the awareness? Because mind says I am. Mind says, look at the people. They are at a distance with me. See that? Look at it. Nothing happens to the TV screen. Nothing happens to that pure consciousness. It is as it is before, during, and after. The movie is over. It is that consciousness. But mind borrowed it and became a reflected consciousness. That is why I gave an example of we see the 10 suns. We cannot find out which one is real unless I go behind and transcend the mind and see the sun. That is being reflected in 10 buckets of water. A reflected consciousness is not the real consciousness. Reflected light is not the real. So the moment I say, I am teaching, I became different from you. Who did it? My mind. And the same mind says, I am here, you are there. How can you rely on that mind? How can you rely on that mind? Nothing happens to that pure consciousness. Here, in this metaphor, at a TV screen, nothing happens to that TV screen. It remains as it is. So, what it means, the reflected consciousness or the mind, as we understand, the consciousness is borrowed by the mind, it became a reflected consciousness. So now it is reflecting. It is this one consciousness is reflected through the mind and becomes many. Can I say the reflected consciousness created the world of people, place, events, things, recognizes living and the non-living beings? Reflected consciousness created I, you, he, she, and the things living and the non-living. Reflected consciousness created body and the mind complex, then it created a feeling and emotion, then it started suffering. Am I worthy of suffering? Am I worthy of suffering? So as long as that reflected consciousness claims I am the body mind complex, I will continue to suffer. Pay attention. What belongs to the real self or the pure consciousness and what belongs to the mind? What belongs to the TV screen in a movie that you are watching? I'm saying that. What belongs? TV screen is just reflecting the movie. What belongs? Does any actor belongs to the TV screen? Actress belongs to the TV screen. The plot belongs to the TV screen. The event belongs to the TV screen. Nothing belongs to the TV screen. Same way, that real self is pure consciousness. Nothing belongs to that pure consciousness. Whatever belongs to me, which I claim me, mine, belongs to the reflected consciousness. So once you have watched the movie and now it is complete, you switch on the TV again. Do you see the same actor again? We don't see. I become angry. The next moment I am calm. Everything is changing. Due to the reflected consciousness, nothing changes. at the real consciousness and the pure consciousness. The real self is all pervading. The false means the reflected consciousness appears on the real. That is what the metaphor this master has been explaining. Once we complete the first 17 verses, then he goes on explaining each and every detail. It removes all the doubt. Take the same example. Where I am, where the real self is, there the false or the reflected consciousness will always be there. But why I can't see that real self? Because of the ignorance, because I don't know, because I do not separate that TV screen from the movie that is going on. I lost touch. Why I lost touch? Because I am unaware of the real self that has borrowed the consciousness to the mind. Then what happens? Then I see the actor is moving, but behind there is a TV screen. There is a plot, but behind there is a TV screen. They are fighting, but behind there is a TV screen. They are making love, but behind there is a TV screen. I lost awareness of the screen and claim actor moving in the movie is real. Which actor you like, Scarlett or Angelina? I don't remember, So you watch William, even the beating actor, behind there is a screen, but we lost awareness. So when I lost awareness, what happens? I lose awareness of a man behind the husband, a woman behind this honey or wife or a sister. I lose awareness of one consciousness behind the living beings. I lose awareness behind the non-living beings because reflected medium is not there. Body cannot reflect the consciousness. So that is why they cannot reflect it. No, but what do you mean by that? Being alive to the surrounding means that there is some reflection. Being alive to the surrounding. Mouse is not alive to the surrounding. It will remain where I have put it. But say, for example, this mouse becomes alive to the surrounding. The next day, this mouse will not like me and it will hide itself. Reflection of the consciousness is the. No, but what is the difference between the animals that we are going to take up? This mind of a human being is a gift, or you can say the free intellect in a higher self-awareness is gift to the human race, where the reflection of the consciousness is at a much higher level, so that I can find out who am I. Tiger is not interested in knowing who am I, not interested whether I should become violent or non-violent, not searching for any priest or to guide me. I have committed lot of sins. It is only because of the reflection. There are many medium that we know that. The sun cannot reflect through the matter, through the rough surface. It can reflect through the water. The same real self is reflecting in the human mind. It becomes the reflected consciousness because we have a higher level of self-awareness, so we can think and we can understand, who am I? But I lost awareness. See that? So in the painted canvas, I'm just explaining the canvas in a different way. The free intellect and the higher self-awareness are gifts to the human being. We are not comparing that who is lower and a higher. Some people will like to compare that. No. Tiger does not say, let me find who am I. Does not say, let me change my behavior and attitude. I'm tired of killing. Because that consciousness reflecting in the human mind is at a higher level, is a gift to the existence. We did not create it. We did not create it. So, what is the point of ignorance here? That I do not recognize how wonderful the movie is. The fact is that nothing is happening to the TV screen. How wonderful the life outside or terrible the life is, I do not recognize that I am the real self, I am the pure consciousness, I am not the body and mind complex. So I lost awareness. Only that difference is there between a seeker who wants to know, remove the ignorance, and who do not want to remove the ignorance. Another question this master asks and answers: how far is the mind, how far the mind is from the real self or the pure consciousness? We know mind is matter. How far? What is the distance between the mind and the real self? There is no difference. Where there is a pure consciousness, there is a reflected consciousness. There is no difference. You cannot watch the movie on the wall. You have to. What is the difference between the TV screen and the movie that is going on? Ask yourself. There is no difference. So when we say I am now, we are going deeper. So first we understood that there is no difference between the TV screen and the movie that is going on. Can you really separate? Try to separate today. You're watching some movie on a TV screen and try to separate the movie from the TV. There is no difference. There is no distance. But still you cannot say that the movie is totally attached to the TV screen. You cannot say that. So when we want to solve that mystery, people go into the mysterious way. There is nothing to go in a mysterious way. Logically, rationally, there is no distance between the TV screen and the movie that is going on. Your favorite star is playing a role and you are crying. They are earning and we are crying. What a great Sam. They are earning millions of dollars and we are crying. And then we start imitating. We find the same event in our life and then we are we are stressed and suffering, then we claim, I am worthy of suffering. Yeah, come to the main point. TV screen and the movie you cannot separate. How far they are? No, there is no distance. So, where there is a pure consciousness, there is reflected consciousness. Okay? So, where are you going? No, hold on. So, where there is a pure consciousness, there is a reflected consciousness. Okay. What do you mean? I mean, when I say I am, both are present. Real self is also there and reflected consciousness, the mind is also there. I don't see the difference. That's why I'm living in ignorance, and that is why we have to do meditation. Did you get it? I'm repeating. TV screen and the movie is going on, your favorite star, huh? And you are absorbed. So you are absorbed, you lost awareness of the TV screen. You're totally involved. Reflected consciousness, the mind involves me into me, mine, he, she, it, her. There is nothing like this. But so we ask a question, what is that? Is there any distance between the TV screen and the movie that is going on? There is no difference. There is no distance. TV screen is not there, movie is not there. Pure consciousness is not there, mind is not there. Okay, okay. So that leads us to ask another question. When I say I am teaching, who is this I am? This I am contains both the real and the mind. Real and the reflected consciousness. Both are there. One is localized, other is all pervading. Consciousness is all pervading. Reflected consciousness is localized. That is why I am saying I am. You get it? Say yes, even if you don't get it. How can you claim that you are Stephen, you are Brandy, you are David? That is reflected consciousness. Behind that, because they both cannot be separated, behind that, I am not aware, the real self is there. Who suffers? The reflected consciousness. That is why I say, are you worthy of suffering? Answer is big no. Now, okay, I can say in front of you, but in fact, you don't know how much I'm suffering in my life. Because you are made to suffer. God gifted you a special quality to suffer. You have to carry the burden of suffering in the world. That's why you are suffering. You see, then this master continues. He says, are you clear that when you use the word I am, contains both reflected consciousness and pure consciousness? Where you are means, are you aware that this I am contains two? If you are aware, problem is gone. If you are not aware, then what do you say? I am rich, I am poor, I am stressed, I am pleased, I have lot of problem, I have strong likes and this. I am Elon Musk. I'm richest. I'm arrogant. Now, I'm not talking about him. I'm arrogant or humble, whatever it is. It is all reflected kind of. You see that. You're Elon Musk, I'm also Elon Musk. I'm the richest. Why I am the richest? I will remain the richest. You have become the richest now. I will remain the richest because I am pure consciousness. Just see that. What a beautiful way this master explains. So ignorant people mix up the mind with the real self. That is the problem. As such, there is no distance. They see the mind and the real self are one. You will continue to suffer. How to see them separate? Discernment and dispassion. How to see them separate? Discernment and dispassion. You cannot separate them physically. But the ignorant says, you do not understand. I have been suffering. Continue to suffer, my friend. You are made to suffer. Keep a smile on the face, don't get upset. You see, wise says, wise, I have been using the word live wisely. The wise says, or the seeker says, it is a movie. Suffering is a part of the movie. Pleasure is also a part of the movie. How much money I have, that is a part of the movie. I don't have it. That is also a part of the movie. That is the extraordinary state of mindfulness that we live 24/7. There is no other way to separate. You cannot physically separate. I said that there is no distance. How can you separate TV screen from the movie? You cannot. But still we can know that separation in our head. By the same mind that made me crazy. How? By the same discernment and dispassion. We are summarizing in the 17 verses, and after that, he goes such a penetrating, with an extraordinary awareness. He explains each and every aspect. He doesn't leave any doubt. So now see that, now I have understood this I am has two parts. One I am is the real self, and other is the reflected consciousness, which we see the mind. So now we understand that real self is all pervading, reflected consciousness is not all pervading, it is localized. So consciousness reflected through the mind is localized. That is why you say, Stephen will say that I'm sitting in my home and you are sitting in your home. Raiva was sitting in India. Look at it. See, take. Contemplate and reflect. You are separating inside. Real self is one. Reflected consciousness are many. Do you see? Reflected consciousness is localized as David, as Jerry, as Stephen, as me, as you, and other as the non-living beings. But pure consciousness is always, it's not localized because it is all pervading. I am has two parts. I am localized. At the same time, I'm all pervading. To recognize that, to live into that state is mindfulness. The last point I told you that then we have one question that okay, if the consciousness is all pervading even in the mouse and the monitor and my home and all the non-living things, yes. Only difference is that that medium cannot reflect the consciousness. They are not alive to the surrounding. To be alive to the surrounding, the consciousness should reflect. I'm alive to you all, so I know here I am and there you are. This does not know. That is the power of the Eastern wisdom. No belief, no cult, no dogma, no religion, nothing. It says understand it. And I am, okay, I know, I am that. I am that. Now, when you are talking, so I say, yes, I'm here. But otherwise, at the same time, I'm that. I am that. Is this power of knowledge? So, one more point, very subtle point. Because this consciousness is reflected in the mind is a gift to the human being. I'm saying gift. I'm not using the word, The science compares, we have the highest faculty, we are the highest, highly evolved living species. No, we are not going there. We say our reflection is little more because that's why I'm alive to the alive to the surrounding, the event, and the people and the things. I can have an objective and the subjective reality. It is because of that reflected consciousness, there is an opportunity to evolve myself to find who am I, or there is another option. I become the enjoyer, I become the doer. The moment I become the enjoyer, this mind starts seeking peace and happiness outside in the world, which where it is not, it is another false reflection. That is why I continue to suffer. Then I claim that I am worthy of suffering. Otherwise, suffering as such do not exist. It exists in my mind. A person you hate, you suffer when that person goes in front of you. But the same person is loved by the second person. How can you say this person is made up of suffering? It is all in the reflected. Close your eyes. We will do the non-practice. Eyes are closed. Body is comfortable. You settle yourself totally. Settle? Settle in what? Find out. I just pick up the last message of this master. I am settled. That I am is the reflected consciousness. So you look at the body, you look at the outer environment, you look at the atmosphere. I am cannot be separated from the another I am. It is localized and one is all pervading. All pervading is reflecting through I am. So let me do it. Where is the problem? But I'm aware of that. To remain aware does not need any practice, so hence it is a non practice. Now I've heard from a couple of people that so called you say non practice, but anyhow we did the practice. Who is saying this? The mind. you have to you have to maintain that awareness. Look at it. I told you, being alive to the surrounding. Body cannot be alive to the surrounding. Body is a dead matter. So who is looking at the neck joint? The mind. Okay, I'm aware. Behind that there is a pure consciousness. Behind that there is a TV screen. But then reflected consciousness looks at the neck joint and it feels sensation, comfort, and steadiness, but it is not lost there. Remember, Buddha says the right remembrance is mindfulness. The literal translation of the word he used, Samyak Smriti. You'll be surprised. Buddha said, or you can say it's self remembrance. That is the word and the phrase he used for mindfulness. Okay, so I experience that I is reflected consciousness, is experiencing sensation, comfort, and steadiness in the presence of the consciousness. Come on, how simple it is. We have a feeling, then the feeling may be good and bad, feeling may be pleasing and non painful. Then the thought comes, in that thought there is a person, and that person may be good or bad. I like him or I don't. You see that? That is the way the reflected consciousness creates the world around us. So we create our own world in the mind. We create our own painting in the canvas. We forget that canvas. A mixing up. So that you live into that awareness. So you look at the shoulder joint movie. I'm just giving some reference. Moving is going on. That shoulder joint is recognized by the reflected consciousness, and behind that, but then I go back, I feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. That's okay. But I'm aware that I am. One I am cannot be separated from the second I am. The one I am that I do not know is the real self. One I am that I know lives like a spider who has created its own web and caught in its own web. That is why it says, yes, I am suffering, I am enjoying. What we discussed, I'm trying to translate that into an application. Because the mind says only I exist. How it says? Let us become aware. Look at the entire body. Mind says I only exist. Here is the body. Here is my body. Experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Now see the layer of ignorance. The mind says, now I am feeling sensation, comfort, and steadiness because I did something. When I do nothing, then I don't feel that. It's another false notion. Still, you are doing nothing. How can you claim that you are doing something? You're just looking, you're aware. How you are aware? Because consciousness is there. You're alive to the surrounding. You're alive to the body. You're aware of the body. Any movement, any change is happening in a movie, not on a TV screen. We need that awareness inside our head, and that awareness is known as discernment. It instantly results into dispassion. Well, if we are a seeker, I have to add that condition. No, my body. I don't feel good with my body. Who is this? Who is saying this? You have to simply discern. Don't you feel that I have a pain? You have to simply discern. And that is why we need to be a seeker. This reflected consciousness or the mind demands something all the time. Why? Because of our habit, because of our ignorance, because of our delusion. It says, what should I do now to be in peace and happiness? Do you see this thought and feeling? This thought and the feeling demands I should perform some action to be in peace and happiness. Even if this mind has failed miserably millions of times in securing peace and happiness. What I'm doing? Nothing. But if you say what you are doing, discern, where is discern? Discern is separate. What does it mean? That I am that real self. I am not the world created by the reflected consciousness. I am the canvas, not the superimpositions. What are those superimpositions? The thoughts and the feeling and the sensation and the images and the planning. Can you discern? Here and now, thought is coming and going. It means thought is changing. The mind goes to the body, it has a certain feeling. Do you discern that, oh, I have a feeling in the body now and it was not there before, it will not be there, hence, instantly you are aware. That very awareness perceives two I am. Not able to discern this I am hides the two I am. Is the problem. Is ignorance. Anything changes? The moment you see the consciousness is localized, you are not. Why you are not? Take the consciousness out of the mind, switch off the TV, gone. You see? Switch off, switch on. J. Krishnamurti says, when we discern, we live in an extraordinary state of awareness. It does not mean that we are posing something, we have become extraordinary outside. That's why I gave an example of Elon Musk. You remain as you are, but inside, deeper inside, you live in that extraordinary awareness where you see, I am mind, I am real self. Living in the world, let I am the mind should work, but at the same time, you are aware. You are meditating. You see the distance between this I am and I am. That is why we say be comfortable, be carefree. That is why we say emptiness, nothingness, a long list of the words and the phrases. They all become true. You experience them. Calmness, where you experience mind that created one I am superimposed over the real self, real I. Yes, we say, okay, but I'm aware. But we are aware. behind that peace and the calmness experienced by the mind is the real self that manifested as peace and calmness in the mind. That is why I experience peace and calm. Not because you are learning or the teacher is guiding. Teacher is simply a catalyst. No doubt, because of the knowledge we are receiving. The mind is so much heavily conditioned that it understands the state of doing nothing or a non practice with reference to the practice. So that is what we want to see. We want to discern. Discern means separate. What to separate? This I am. Who knows? When I say I am, you don't know which I am, the real I or the false I. We can make out through the behavior and attitude a bit, still it is not clear. When we are kind and giving and humble, we may pose it. Comfortable, so you are simply aware mind. Steady, okay, mind. Relaxed, mind. Calmness, mind. Peace, mind. How come? Because of the real I, consciousness. Now you see it is totally a non practice. Ultimate cause is the pure consciousness. Everything is changing, thank you. So you discern. When you are aware of the change, you perceive the unchanging consciousness is also there. Can you imagine the biggest TV screen on which the drama in the world continues? Drama in the world continues. That discernment makes it clear. Here is I am and here is I am. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. How we can separate I am from the I am cannot be separated, but can be known or can be separated inside our head. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good. That was very fast. Yeah, I'm very. Living wisely is very important to me, and I'm very conscious of it. And some of the things I'm realizing through the lessons, myself, my own meditation, is this, which is consistent with today, is that when things are right, you know they're right. They feel right. They feel good. You don't even have to think about it. But when they're wrong or they're off, you know that it's wrong and it's off. It feels that way, and it's we allow our minds to take control of that. And one of the things that has really helped me this week more than anything is the realization of that step back that you taught us last year.
Yeah.
And so when something feels wrong to me, it's almost an immediate step back, and I'm able to look at it and go, "That's not living wisely."
Yes.
And it goes away. And during this meditation, it was funny because you said that the feelings, it's the mind, it's the mind, it's the mind. Thoughts were coming to myself. I felt sensations in my body, and I just kept saying to myself, "It's the mind." And then when you actually said it, I actually started to chuckle to myself. I'm sitting here laughing at myself, going like, "I'm seeing this." So thank you. So.
Wonderful. Even what happens, you have an extreme pain on the body. And you say it's the mind, and you do not lose your smile. Yeah, let me take care. Let me go to the doctor even if it demands. But internally, you have already separated, discerned. Very good. How are you, Vaibhav?
So good, very deep, uh, seeing the differences, and it was calm.
You see the deep, when we say deep, going within, living within, it is just discerning. Here is the pure consciousness, and here is the mind. Here I am real, and here I am not. That discernment is moving within, living within. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you, sir. It was, quick, simple, deep, nothing, just, nothing. I'm sorry, I don't have words to describe it. It was just
That's
wonderful.
fine. It means you're totally absorbed. That's beautiful. How are you, Jerry?
Good, thank you, sir. Yes, very deep, very fast. And I think similar to what Stephen was saying is that when we are rooted in and know consciousness who we are, then we actually through the reflective consciousness see things differently.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. So we live differently.
The moment you live through the reflected consciousness, forgetting the real, the problem has already started. Huh? Whether we make a soulmate or whether we are, both are a problem. What is the main thing? The real life. Step back. Do you see that? I get a lot of pleasures. That's why I gave an example of Elon Musk. I should not go, otherwise he is. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good, thank you. It was interesting when you were talking about the drama continuing outside when it's quite, sitting quietly inside, because it's a really, really windy, blustery day here, like big, loud, sweeping wind. And so I was sitting, it was, pretty timely. I was sitting here really just rooted and quiet. And just outside my window, it is like things are blowing off things, and trees and things are snapping, and it's like, okay, it continues, and I stay rooted.
Beautiful, yeah. Even we start seeing clearly everything, whatever thought, speech, and action is happening in life is nothing but a drama. And that drama, that movie is going on the TV screen, and that is my pure self. So there is a total separation. We are going to understand his teaching after that, because that does not exist. So why you worry? Suffering do not exist, then why you worry? How are you, Sam? We don't hear you. No problem. In the meantime, you correct it, and yes, Kate.
Good morning, namaste, namaste. Beautiful moments of extraordinary awareness with discernment and dispassion.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Are you there? No. Ashok. Keep on fixing.
Sir, it was very stable, peace, quiet inside, and discernment is the key for this
Yeah,
meditation, you
yeah.
can say. So that is the main key to realizing this thing and applying the
Yes.
same.
Yes, naturally it is coming into my crazy mind. The moment you have a discernment, there is a recognition, the peace is already there.
Okay.
Peace is already there. Calmness is there. So then the reflected consciousness, does it still it desires peace and happiness? No. Because it is already there. How are you, Sam?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh, good.
we wanted to hear you.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it was very easy to follow you. Felt the blank screen.
Yeah.
Felt the silence and the blankness, and it was a very quick, pleasant meditation.
Very good. Good. Yes, follow the blanks. You pick up any message by this teacher. That is what we are learning. So, yes, Kate has raised her hand. That I see, yes.
So I maybe you said it, but I missed it. Who is the teacher?
Who is the teacher? You came after how many months or weeks? I explained everything before.
The name of the teacher, though, I don't remember. That's why I'm asking.
Vidyaranya.
Will you write that in the chat?
Yes. Then you will Google out. Very good.
No, but I also have you seen? Thank you. Have you seen the Extraordinary Attorney Wu?